If your home shows even two of these 9 signs, don't sell it or think about moving. Very few people know this, but you could be living on land blessed by St. Cyprian, a place where the energy of abundance and protection multiplies over time. It's not about luck or effort. It's about the silent energy that emanates from the place you call home. Many people spend their lives searching for prosperity elsewhere, not realizing that sometimes they are already living in the very place that St. Cyprian chose to make them rich, healthy, and happy. In this video, you will discover the 9 sacred signs that reveal if your home is infused with energy of fortune and divine protection. And stick around until the end, because I'm going to share an ancient prayer from St. Cyprian that fully awakens the energy of prosperity in your home, even if you thought it didn't exist. For centuries, the secret knowledge of St. Cyprian has reached us through his books and prayers. This saint, who before his conversion was knowledgeable in the secrets of the occult sciences, left us a legacy of wisdom to identify places blessed by divine grace. These are such special places filled with positive energy that over time, they multiply the fortune of those who live there. As if heaven itself had chosen to bless them. Sometimes that energy isn't visible to the eye, but it manifests through signs, small details that may seem coincidental, but are messages from your surroundings saying, here is abundance, here is divine protection, stay. According to the ancient teachings of St. Cyprian, when a house shows certain signs of balance among the 5 sacred elements, holy water, consecrated fire, purified earth, clean air, and protective metal, it means that home is in tune with the energy of prosperity and divine protection. This is not superstition, but rather an ancient spiritual science that has been validated by generations. It's the very same energy that made ancient monasteries thrive, that kept sacred temples from being destroyed, and that ensured certain humble homes were always filled with joy and abundance despite external hardships. That's why today I want to reveal to you the 9 sacred signs that show your house is aligned with the vibration of wealth, protection, and good fortune according to the teachings of St. Cyprian. Some may seem simple, others almost miraculous, but all are clear manifestations that you are living in a blessed home. As you listen, see if you recognize any in your own environment, because if you do, it means you shouldn't leave. Instead, you should care for, appreciate, and strengthen that energy every day under the protection of St. Cyprian. Before revealing the 9 signs, it's important for you to know who St. Cyprian was and why his knowledge about blessed homes is still so valuable today. St. Cyprian of Antioch, before converting to Christianity, was a powerful magician and expert in the occult sciences. He mastered the secrets of nature and understood how energy flows through spaces and objects. After his conversion, St. Cyprian used his knowledge for good, teaching people how to identify places naturally protected by divine grace. These are spaces where beneficial energy concentrates, creating true sanctuaries of peace, health, and prosperity. His writings, particularly the famous Book of St. Cyprian, contain valuable teachings on how to recognize these sacred spaces. What's fascinating is that St. Cyprian discovered that not only churches or monasteries could be blessed places. Even ordinary homes, simple dwellings, could be situated on special grounds where divine energy flows more strongly. According to his teachings, these homes possess unique characteristics that make them true magnets for protection and abundance. St. Cyprian taught that in these blessed homes, the 5 sacred elements manifest in perfect balance. Water, symbolizing purification and the flow of blessings. Fire, representing divine light and positive transformation. Earth, the solid foundation of material prosperity. Air, conveying heavenly messages. And metal, protecting against negative energies. For centuries, his followers have observed and documented how homes showing these signs thrive, how their inhabitants enjoy better health, greater family harmony, and surprising opportunities for both material and spiritual growth. It's no coincidence that some families seem to have good luck. Often it's because they live in a naturally blessed space. The most extraordinary thing about this knowledge is that it doesn't depend on prior wealth, the size of the property, or its location. I've known humble homes in simple neighborhoods that show more signs of blessing than luxurious mansions. Divine energy does not distinguish between social classes or economic status. It manifests where natural balance allows. And here's the most important thing you should know. If your house displays these signs, you are living in a true energetic treasure. Many people make the mistake of selling or abandoning these blessed homes without realizing it, thus losing their connection to a space that could multiply their fortune over time. Each of the signs I'm about to reveal has a deep meaning in the tradition of Saint Cyprian. They are not coincidences. They are manifestations of a special energetic balance that has formed in that place over the years or even centuries. Before we dive into them, I invite you to leave a comment with the phrase, "Saint Cyprian, bless my home." This simple act of faith will begin to activate the protective energy in your space. And if this topic intrigues you, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications to receive more secrets of protection and prosperity for your home. Also, share this video with someone you wish to bless with abundance, as tradition holds that when you share sacred knowledge, blessings return to you multiplied. Now, join me in discovering the 9 most powerful signs that reveal your home is blessed with the energy of prosperity, according to the teachings of Saint Cyprian. The first sacred sign that Saint Cyprian taught us to recognize is the extraordinary growth of plants in your home. Have you noticed that in some houses, plants seem to thrive with surprising vitality, as if the very earth embraces them with love? In those places, even a twig in a glass of water unexpectedly blooms. The greens are more vibrant, the flowers last longer, and it seems like the plants recover on their own when you forget about them. According to St. Cyprian's teachings, this happens because the land beneath that house is especially blessed. Plants are the first living beings to capture the positive energy of a place. They act like natural antennas that absorb and manifest the energetic quality of the space. When they grow vigorously without excessive care, it's a sign that the vital energy, which Saint Cyprian referred to as the divine breath, flows freely throughout the home. Particularly significant are plants with protective properties such as rue, rosemary, basil, aloe vera, and snake plant. In the tradition of Saint Cyprian, these plants not only thrive in blessed homes, but they also act as guardians, forming an energetic shield that repels negative vibrations. If any of these plants are growing exceptionally well in your home, consider that you have a special blessing. There are truly surprising cases I've documented. One woman in Puebla had an aloe plant that grew so much she had to transplant it 3 times in 1 year, and each time she cut a piece for medicinal use, the plant produced 2 new shoots. Her house turned out to be a true oasis of prosperity, where 3 generations lived in health and abundance. Saint Cyprian taught that plants in these blessed homes not only grow better, but they also offer more potent healing properties. Infusions made with herbs from these gardens have more beneficial effects, and the flowers retain their fragrance longer, naturally purifying the environment. If you've noticed this phenomenon in your home, Saint Cyprian advised giving thanks for this blessing with a small ritual. Water your plants on a Monday morning with water to which you've added 3 drops of holy water, or water with a pinch of sea salt if you don't have holy water. As you do this, recite this short prayer: Blessed plant, divine messenger, may your strength reveal the protection that dwells in this home. An additional gesture that enhances this positive energy is to place a pot with rosemary or basil near the main entrance of your house. According to St. Cyprian's tradition, these plants will not only thrive, showing the blessing of your home, but they will also act as first guardians, absorbing any negative energy before it can enter your sacred space. Do you have plants that bloom easily in your home despite receiving minimal care? If so, your house is already speaking to you. It's telling you that the path to prosperity is open under Saint Cyprian's protection. But this is just the first sign, and the next one might be presenting itself right in front of you without you even realizing it. The second sacred sign reveals itself through the light that enters your home, but not just any light. Saint Cyprian, in his teachings about blessed spaces, paid special attention to how sunlight penetrates and forms special patterns within the house. There are homes where light doesn't merely illuminate, but draws specific shapes on the walls, floors, or furniture. These could be perfect circles, luminous crosses, lines that seem to point to a specific place, or even flashes that appear and disappear at certain times of the day. In Saint Cyprian's wisdom, these are not random phenomena, but divine signals marking a protected space. Light is the visible language of God, Saint Cyprian taught. When light creates regular patterns or recognizable shapes in a home, especially if it happens at the same time each day, it means there is a special connection between that house and celestial energies. These special rays energetically cleanse the space, dispelling spiritual shadows and creating channels of communication with protective angels. Particularly significant are rays of light that form triangles or illuminate religious objects like crucifixes, sacred images, or household altars. Saint Cyprian considered these phenomena as visual blessings, signs that spiritual guardians constantly visit that home. I know of a family in Monterey who noticed a ray of light that, exactly at 3 p.m., formed a perfect circle on a wall in their living room. They decided to place an image of Saint Cyprian there, and since then, their financial situation began to improve gradually. 3 years later, they had paid off all their debts and were able to establish a prosperous family business. If you've observed unusual light patterns in your home, Saint Cyprian recommended this simple ritual. When you notice the phenomenon, place your right hand under the ray of light and recite, "Divine light that visits my home, bring with you the blessing and abundance of heaven to this protected house." Then, mark the spot where the light appears with a small, discreet sign, like a pencil dot or a tiny cross. Saint Cyprian also advised keeping a record of these light patterns. Write down in a notebook the dates, times, and shapes you observe. Over time, you might discover cycles and patterns that correspond to special blessing moments for your home. Some families have noted that when certain light patterns appear, good news or economic improvements soon follow. To enhance this sign, you can place natural crystals or small mirrors in strategic locations where light tends to fall. According to Saint Cyprian's teachings, this amplifies the light energy and extends its beneficial influence throughout the house. Have you noticed rays of light forming special patterns in any corner of your home? If so, don't consider it a mere optical coincidence. Your house is receiving direct blessings from heaven in the form of purifying and protective light. The third powerful sign that Saint Cyprian taught us to recognize manifests through the water in your home. This sign is particularly revealing because, according to the saint's teachings, water is the most sensitive element to spiritual energies. In blessed homes, water maintains special characteristics. It stays crystal clear for longer, doesn't develop unpleasant odors quickly, and seems to have a particular shine or lightness. A glass of clean water left in a room of a blessed house can remain fresh and clear for days, while in places with dense or negative energy, the same water becomes cloudy, forms strange bubbles, or generates inexplicable sediments within hours. The famous Book of Saint Cyprian, that medieval grimoire containing his esoteric knowledge, dedicates an entire chapter to what he called the waters that reveal. In it, he describes how water acts as a natural detector of the energetic quality of a space. "Water is the mirror of the invisible world," he wrote, "and reveals what human eyes cannot see." One of the most well-known tests that Saint Cyprian taught to verify if a house is energetically protected is the water with cloves test. It involves placing a clear glass of pure water with 3 cloves, Behind the front door. In a blessed house, the water will remain crystal clear for 9 days, and the cloves will not develop mold or discoloration. If the water becomes cloudy quickly, or the cloves deteriorate within a few days, it indicates that there are energies that need cleaning and balance. This phenomenon is not limited to static water. It also manifests in how water flows through the house's pipes. In blessed homes, water seems to have a harmonious sound as it flows from the taps. Pipes rarely clog, and plants watered with this water thrive remarkably. It has even been observed that people who regularly drink water from a blessed house experience improvements in their health and vitality. Maria Elena, a lady from Guadalajara, shared her experience with me during a severe drought that affected her entire neighborhood. The well at her home was the only one that maintained clear and abundant water. Neighbors would come to her to fill their containers, and many commented that the water had special properties, relieving headaches and digestive issues. Years later, a priest who visited her house confirmed that it was built over what had once been a spring, blessed by the region's first missionaries. If you suspect your home possesses this blessing, St. Cyprian recommended enhancing this energy with the following ritual. Fill a blue glass pitcher with fresh water, add a pinch of blessed salt, or regular sea salt if you don't have blessed, and place it in the center of your house for 1 complete night under the moonlight. The next day, water your plants with this water, or use it to cleanse the door and window frames. Reciting, "Pure water, blessed water, may your clarity reveal the divine protection that dwells in this home." You can also verify this sign by placing 3 identical containers with the same amount of water in different rooms of your house. Observe them for 7 days without moving them. If the water in the container located in the center of the house or near an altar remains clearer than the others, you have strong confirmation that your home possesses the blessing of the waters that reveal of St. Cyprian. Have you noticed that the water in your home stays particularly pure? Do the containers with water remain clean longer than usual? If so, your house is showing one of the most powerful signs of spiritual protection. The 4th sacred sign manifests through air, that invisible element that St. Cyprian considered a direct bridge between the material and spiritual worlds. In his ancient wisdom, the saint paid particular attention to how air behaved within an inhabited space. In blessed homes, air seems to have a life of its own. It moves in particular ways, creating gentle currents that seem to circulate with purpose. Sometimes these currents produce subtle sounds, like soft whistles or melodic murmurs that have no evident mechanical source. Curtains sway gently even when windows are closed, or you feel a cool breeze in certain corners without any logical explanation. The air is the breath of the divine, St. Cyprian taught. In blessed spaces, this element acts as a messenger between the visible and invisible worlds. The air currents in these homes are not random. They follow specific patterns, as if they are constantly cleansing and purifying the environment. A particularly significant phenomenon is the sighs of the house, those soft sounds, like exhalations, that are sometimes heard in the silence of the night. Many people confuse them with creaks in the structure, but St. Cyprian identified them as the energetic breathing of the home, a sign that the house is spiritually alive and in constant purification. The quality of air in these homes is also remarkable. Despite being in polluted urban areas, these houses maintain surprisingly fresh and clean air. Odors do not easily linger, and people with allergies or respiratory issues often find relief upon entering these spaces. I know of a family in Veracruz whose home, despite being close to the sea with all its humidity, never developed mold or stale odors. Visitors always commented on how fresh and pleasant the environment was. The most curious thing was a sound, like a very soft melody, that could be heard occasionally near a specific window. An expert in construction confirmed that there was no structural explanation for that phenomenon. If you've noticed these manifestations of air in your home, St. Cyprian recommended enhancing this blessing with the wind chimes ritual. This involves hanging small bells or metal chimes at the 4 cardinal points of the house. When the air makes them ring, recite this short prayer: "Blessed air that cleanses my home, take away the negative and bring peace and prosperity." He also advised using natural incense of frankincense or myrrh to see the movement of the air. When lit, observe how the smoke moves. In blessed homes, the smoke usually forms ascending columns or orderly spirals instead of dispersing chaotically. Areas where the smoke accumulates or moves erratically may indicate areas that need energetic attention. A traditional practice to verify this sign is to place very light white feathers in different rooms. In spaces with good air circulation, the feathers occasionally move without any apparent cause, especially during dawn or dusk, hours that St. Cyprian considered portals between worlds. Have you perceived inexplicable air currents in your home? Harmonious sounds that seem to come from nowhere? If so, you are experiencing another powerful sign that your house is under special protection. The 5th revealing sign comes to us through the small messengers of nature. St. Cyprian, a profound connoisseur of living symbols, paid special attention to certain animals that repeatedly chose to visit some homes. Not just any creature, but those traditionally considered carriers of divine messages. In blessed homes, it's common to observe the frequent presence of white doves that perch on windowsills or rooftops. These birds, universal symbols of peace and the Holy Spirit, do not choose randomly where to rest. According to St. Cyprian's teachings, these birds have a special sensitivity to detect energetically pure and protected spaces. Hummingbirds are another powerful sign. These tiny messengers, able to hover in the air as if by magic, are considered in St. Cyprian's tradition as miniature angels. When they repeatedly visit the flowers in your garden or even approach your windows, it indicates your home vibrates at a high and harmonious frequency. Particularly significant are blue butterflies. In the book of St. Cyprian, these creatures are described as fragments of heaven that visit the earth. Their repeated presence, especially when they enter the home and linger for a time before leaving, indicates a special blessing. St. Cyprian taught that these butterflies act as energetic cleansers, absorbing heavy vibrations and transforming them. I've documented truly remarkable cases. A family in Oaxaca experienced the daily visit of a pair of hummingbirds that built their tiny nest right above their front door. During that time, the family saw significant economic improvement, recovering from a financial crisis that had affected them for years. Interestingly, the hummingbirds stayed exactly 3 months, the time it took the family to pay off their most urgent debts. Another striking case involved a home in Cuernavaca, where blue butterflies appeared in large numbers every time the family faced an important decision. The residents learned to recognize these visits as signs that they were on the right path, and indeed, their decisions made under the blessing of the butterflies proved to be correct. If you've noticed the frequent visit of these special animals, St. Cyprian recommended giving thanks with this simple ritual. Place a small blue ceramic container with fresh water near the spot where they usually appear. Add a few drops of pure honey for hummingbirds, or some seeds for doves. As you do this, recite, "Winged messengers, thank you for confirming the blessing that dwells in this home. You are always welcome." To attract these sacred visitors, you can plant brightly colored flowers in your garden or place fresh flowers near the windows. Jasmine, roses, and lavender are particularly effective in attracting these winged messengers. According to St. Cyprian's tradition, you can also place small representations of these animals, figurines or images, near the main entrance. They are not just decorations. In St. Cyprian's tradition, they serve as energetic invitations for their real counterparts to visit your space. Have you received visits from doves, hummingbirds, or blue butterflies with a frequency that seems more than coincidental? If so, your home has been recognized by these messengers as a sacred space, worthy of being visited and blessed. The sixth sacred sign manifests in the dream world, in that space between worlds where our consciousness travels during sleep. Saint Cyprian, an expert in the mysteries of the invisible, paid particular attention to the dream patterns of those inhabiting certain spaces. In blessed homes, a fascinating phenomenon occurs. Their inhabitants experience more vivid, significant, and often prophetic dreams. It's not just about having good dreams, but about dream experiences that contain messages, warnings, or revelations that later confirm in waking life. St. Cyprian taught that certain homes are built over what he called subtle doors, places where the veil between the physical and spiritual worlds is thinner. In these spaces, the mind during sleep can access information that transcends ordinary time and space. A distinctive feature of this sign is that multiple family members experience significant dreams, sometimes even sharing similar elements or symbols in their independent dream experiences. It's as if the house itself facilitates a channel for spiritual communication during rest. Dreams in these blessed homes often share some common characteristics: brighter and more intense colors than ordinary dreams, a sense of clarity and lucidity during the dream, and frequently, the presence of protective figures or guides offering advice or comfort. Many people report dreaming of deceased relatives who come to bring encouraging messages or useful warnings. I know of a family in Querétaro where 3 different members dreamed of a fire in the kitchen on the same night. The next day, they discovered a gas installation fault that could have caused precisely that. This dream warning allowed them to address the problem before a tragedy occurred. If you've noticed that your dreams seem to have a special or revealing character in your home, St. Cyprian recommended enhancing this connection with the following nighttime ritual. Before sleeping, place a glass of water with a bay leaf under your bed. As you lie down, recite this short prayer. St. Cyprian, may the truth I need to know be revealed in my dreams, and may my blessed home be a bridge between worlds. He also advised keeping a dream journal to jot down dream experiences immediately upon waking. Over time, many people discover astounding patterns and confirm the prophetic or revealing nature of their dreams. St. Cyprian taught that the act of recording dreams strengthens the ability to remember and understand them. A traditional practice to verify this sign is what St. Cyprian called the nightly consultation. Before sleeping, mentally pose a clear question about something that concerns you. In blessed homes with this sign, the answer often appears during the dream, either directly or symbolically. Have you noticed that your dreams have become more vivid, significant, or prophetic since living in your current home? Have you received messages or warnings in dreams that later confirmed in reality? If so, your home possesses one of the deepest signs of spiritual blessing, acting as a portal for wisdom that transcends time. The 7th revealing sign manifests through objects, especially those with spiritual or sentimental significance. St. Cyprian, with his deep understanding of how energy permeates matter, observed closely how certain objects behaved in different spaces. In blessed homes, religious or protective objects seem to remain in exceptional condition despite the passage of time. Crucifixes that don't lose their shine, sacred images whose colors stay vibrant, rosaries that never break, medals that retain their original luster. This phenomenon goes beyond mere material care. It's as if these objects are continuously renewed by the special energy of the place. St. Cyprian explained that in homes with blessed energy, sacred objects act as energy accumulators, capturing and amplifying the positive vibrations of the space. Over time, instead of deteriorating, these objects seem to gain strength and presence. It's not just about religious objects. Sentimental family items also show this unusual resistance to deterioration, old photographs that retain their clarity, inherited jewelry that doesn't lose its shine, family furniture that remains in excellent condition for generations. St. Cyprian referred to these objects as anchors of prosperity, as they help maintain and transmit blessings through time. Notable case I documented involved a family in Durango that possessed a small wooden image of St. Cyprian. While other possessions deteriorated normally, this figure, which was over 80 years old, retained its perfectly defined details and even emitted a subtle cedar aroma, as if it had just been carved. The family had experienced protection for generations, surviving economic hardships that severely affected their neighbors. If you've noticed this extraordinary preservation phenomenon in your home, St. Cyprian recommended enhancing this blessing with a simple ritual. Identify the best preserved object of spiritual value in your house and place it in a place of honor, preferably in the center of the home or near the main entrance. Light a white candle next to it and recite, "Blessed object, witness of time. May your preservation reveal the eternal protection that dwells in this home." He also advised regularly cleaning these special objects with a white cotton cloth dampened with rose water or holy water, never with chemical products. This act not only maintains their physical appearance, but also refreshes their energetic connection with the blessed space. To verify this sign in your home, St. Cyprian suggested an observation exercise. Compare the condition of the religious or sentimental objects in your house with similar objects in other homes, especially those of comparable age. The difference in their preservation may be a clear indicator of the special blessing your space possesses. Have you noticed that certain objects in your home seem to resist the passage of time inexplicably? Images, medals, or family mementos that maintain their integrity much longer than expected? If so, you are experiencing another powerful manifestation that your house is under special protection. The eighth mysterious sign manifests through sound, that invisible element that St. Cyprian considered a direct bridge between the material and spiritual worlds. In his ancestral wisdom, the saint paid particular attention to inexplicable sounds that occurred in certain blessed homes. In these special houses, one occasionally hears harmonious sounds that have no identifiable physical source, soft tinkling like distant bells, faint melodies that seem to pass through walls, or musical vibrations that appear and disappear, especially during dawn or dusk. These sounds are not threatening or disturbing. Instead, they produce a sense of peace and tranquility in those who perceive them. Heavenly sounds seek to resonate in earthly spaces that are in harmony with their vibration, St. Cyprian taught. According to his writings, these inexplicable sounds are manifestations of the presence of spiritual guardians who protect the home and its inhabitants. Tradition holds that these acoustic phenomena are more frequent in houses built on ancient sacred grounds, or in places that have been the scene of spiritually significant events. An impressive testimony comes from a family in San Luis Potosi who regularly heard what they described as distant choirs in a specific room of their house, always around 3 in the afternoon. Subsequent investigations revealed that the house was built near an ancient monastery. Curiously, while they lived there, the family experienced numerous fortunate coincidences that substantially improved their economic situation. If you've perceived these harmonious sounds in your home, St. Cyprian recommended honoring this blessing with the bell ritual. Obtain a small silver metal bell and gently ring it in each corner of your house while reciting, "May the sacred sound that dwells in this home attract blessings, drive away the negative, and multiply prosperity." He also advised practicing moments of conscious silence in different areas of the house, especially during transitional hours like dawn and dusk. These moments of stillness increase our sensitivity to perceive the subtle sounds that reveal the blessing of the space. A traditional practice to verify this sign is to hang small wind chimes in different rooms. In blessed homes, these chimes sometimes softly ring without any evident air currents, especially during moments of prayer or when important decisions are made. Have you ever heard harmonious sounds you cannot explain? Faint melodies or soft tinklings that seem to come from nowhere? If so, your home is resonating with one of the most mystical signs of spiritual protection. The ninth and perhaps most powerful sign manifests through human relationships within the home. Saint Cyprian, with his deep wisdom about the interconnection between spaces and emotions, observed carefully how people interacted in different environments. In blessed homes, there exists an extraordinary phenomenon. Peace and family harmony flourish naturally. Conflicts, while they occur like in any family, tend to resolve surprisingly quickly and without leaving deep resentments. Discussions don't escalate. Tensions seem to dissipate as if by magic, and there seems to be an invisible force guiding everyone toward reconciliation and mutual understanding. The true sign of a blessed home is that love persists where it would wither in other places, Saint Cyprian taught. This harmony does not mean the absence of challenges, but rather an extraordinary capacity to overcome them together, strengthening bonds rather than weakening them. Particularly significant is how visitors feel in these homes. Many people report an immediate sense of well-being, calm, and safety upon entering. Some even mention that they can breathe better or feel a weight lifted off their shoulders as they cross the threshold. St. Cyprian explained that this happens because the harmonious energy of the space interacts directly with each person's energy field, creating immediate alignment. One family in Mexico City shared their experience. Despite going through severe economic crises that would have normally caused unbearable tensions, they found reasons to be grateful and moments to laugh together every night. Neighbors commented in amazement that, amid difficulties that had torn apart other families, they seemed closer than ever. Eventually, their situation improved in unexpected ways, and they attribute this recovery to the harmony they managed to maintain. If you've noticed this blessing of peace in your home, St. Cyprian recommended strengthening it with this simple daily ritual. Before the main family meal, everyone holds hands in a circle and recites together, "In this blessed house may love flourish, peace remain, and prosperity increase." He also advised creating a small gratitude corner in a common space where each family member could write down the blessings received and moments of joy shared. These written testimonies act as anchors of harmony that strengthen the positive energy of the home. Have you noticed that in your house conflicts resolve surprisingly easily? That even in tough times, you can find reasons for gratitude and shared joy? If so, your home possesses the most valuable sign of all, a field of harmony that not only protects but nourishes the true purpose of a blessed home. We've journeyed through the 9 sacred signs that St. Cyprian taught us to recognize when a home is truly blessed, when divine energy has chosen that space to manifest protection and prosperity. Each of these signs is a message from heaven, a way the invisible communicates with us through the elements of nature and everyday experiences. Let's briefly review these signs. Plants that grow with extraordinary vitality, special light patterns that appear at precise moments, water that remains crystal clear for unusual periods, air currents that generate harmonious sounds, messenger animals that visit repeatedly, revealing dreams that manifest with special clarity, objects that remain preserved beyond the natural, inexplicable sounds that convey peace, and that unmistakable family harmony that persists even in difficult times. Now, take a moment to reflect. How many of these signs have you identified in your own home? Even if you've recognized just 1 or 2, it's a reason for deep gratitude. Your house is not just a simple collection of walls and roofs. It's a living space chosen to channel special blessings. You might be wondering, what if I don't recognize any of these signs? Don't worry. St. Cyprian taught that every home has the potential to become a channel of blessings. Sometimes we just need to activate that latent energy, inviting it to fully manifest. And here comes the moment I promised at the beginning of our meeting. I'm going to share with you a powerful activation ritual that Saint Cyprian passed on to his closest followers. A ritual that, performed with sincere faith, can awaken or strengthen the signs of blessing in any home. This ritual is known as the consecration of the 7 flames and requires simple elements you likely have at home. A white candle, a small container of water, preferably in a clear glass bowl, a pinch of salt, and if possible, a medal, card, or image of Saint Cyprian. If you don't have the latter, you can use any religious symbol you have faith in. The ritual should preferably be performed on Tuesday, a day traditionally associated with Saint Cyprian, and at sunset when the veil between worlds thins. Here are the steps. First, physically clean your home. A thorough cleaning isn't necessary, but at least ensure that the center of the house is tidy and clean. Second, place the white candle in the center of the home, preferably on a stable surface. Next to it, place the container with water and add the pinch of salt, saying, "With this salt, I purify this water to be a channel of blessing." Third, light the candle while reciting this ancient prayer, "Saint Cyprian, who knows the secrets between worlds, I invoke you to bless this home. May the light of this candle attract divine protection. May the salted water purify every corner, and may blessings flow abundantly for all who dwell here." Fourth, with the candle lit, walk through the main rooms of the house. There's no need to enter each one. Just let the light briefly illuminate each space from the entrance. As you do this, visualize a golden light emanating from the candle and spreading throughout the house. Finally, return to the central point and place the medal or image of Saint Cyprian, or your symbol of faith, next to the candle. Allow the candle to burn down completely. If it's too large, you can extinguish it after an hour and relight it for the next 6 days. The salted water should remain in the same place for 7 days. On the 7th day, use this water to sprinkle the corners of your home, especially at entrances and windows, saying, "May the blessing be sealed, may protection remain, may prosperity flourish." Saint Cyprian assured that this ritual, repeated with devotion, gradually activates the signs of blessing and strengthens those already present in the home. Many families have experienced astonishing transformations after this consecration, noticing how the signs we've described begin to manifest more clearly. We have reached the end of this journey of discovery, a tour through the sacred knowledge that Saint Cyprian entrusted us to recognize and enhance the energy of blessing in our homes. This knowledge, passed down through the centuries, is more relevant than ever in these times when we seek spaces of true protection and abundance. If you've identified some of these signs in your house, congratulations. You are living in a blessed space, a place chosen to channel divine energy. Don't take it for granted. Thank each day for this gift and care for the harmony of your home as the treasure it truly is. And if you've decided that your current house isn't the place where you want to put down roots because you don't recognize these signs, remember that true blessing begins with gratitude and intention. Every space can transform when we inhabit it with love, faith, and purpose. I invite you to share this video with those you wish to bless with prosperity and protection. As Saint Cyprian taught, when we share spiritual knowledge with pure intention, blessings return to our lives multiplied. If this message resonates with you, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to this channel, and turn on notifications to receive more ancestral secrets of protection and abundance. Remember that home is not just a physical space, but a living energy field that responds to our emotions, thoughts, and actions. Care for it, bless it, and appreciate it, and you will see how the signs of Saint Cyprian multiply day by day. May Saint Cyprian extend his mantle of protection over your home and all who dwell within it. May prosperity flow abundantly in your life, and may peace and harmony be your constant companions. Until our next meeting, receive my sincere blessing and my gratitude for sharing this sacred time.